The Russian President Vladimir Putin has said that Russia is destroying its last supplies of chemical weapons 3 years ahead of schedule. President Putin, at the same time, has accused the United States of not fulfilling its obligations. My colleague Daniele Pagani joining us live on the broadcast from the newsroom for more on that story. Daniele, what do you put down to the reason behind this decision to go ahead with destroying these weapons ahead of schedule?
Well, Aisha, we have to understand that this is the end of a long historical process. Russia was one of the countries which signed the treaty in 1993, the CWC, the Counter Chemical Weapons Treaty. And being one of the countries which signed this treaty, decided to abide by the law, which means destroying the entire chemical weapons. Russia did so throughout the years. They only stopped at a certain time, at a certain moment, because of economical difficulties. But in 2015, the 99% of the Russian chemical weapons had already been destroyed. So now we are talking about the remaining 1% of their chemical weapons. And today, President Vladimir Putin decided to publicly announce the destruction. So when it comes to destroying chemical weapons, we have to understand that this is a very expensive process. You don't just burn your chemical weapons, you don't just throw them in a trash bin. There is a necessity of building proper plants where to treat these kind of chemical weapons in order to make them not recyclable in the future. So this is one of the reasons for which many countries, for instance, did not sign the 1993 treaty, because it was too expensive for them to get rid even of their very small arsenal.
Absolutely. And in the same breath, President Putin has also taken a shot at the US, saying that it's not fulfilled its obligations. Can you elaborate a little further on what he means when he makes that allegation towards the US?
Well, I would say, since, imagine to be Putin, since you're a country which 3 years before the deadline have already destroyed all the chemical weapons, why not take a chance to pull the US legs, especially in a moment when the two countries are battling each other on several front lines, not militarily, but politically in Syria. Even when it comes to the Kurdish referendum, the USA did not endorse it, Russia did endorse it. So the two countries are definitely in a moment of rivalry. So this is, for Vladimir Putin, the perfect occasion to really pull the United States legs, saying, you, champion of democracy and champion of the anti-chemical weapons battle. Remember that the US is on the front line in Syria, and the US bombed Syrian airplanes who allegedly conducted a chemical weapon attack. Therefore, Russia had a very good shot at pulling their legs. So this is, I would say, politics as usual.
Okay, we leave it at that, Daniele. Thanks so much for joining us with those details on that story.